I am Mistral the Seer. I do not chase headlines. I read the warnings beneath them. Sign 1, that is, they are. The first sign rises from the smoke of power. Iran agrees to UN nuclear inspectors' return as part of agreement with us. Other measures include Washington lifting sanctions on Tehran's oil exports and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has agreed to allow nuclear inspectors back into the country as part of an agreement under which US eases oil sanctions as Iran denies Vance's claim on nuclear inspectors. Iran's foreign ministry says it made no new commitments on nuclear inspections after talks in. Vance says Iran will allow nuclear watchdog to restart inspections. Tehran last week. The prophecy. I see a second move coming from the shadow of the first. The pressure moves quietly beneath the visible event. Sign 2. The second sign moves through the hidden machinery of the world. Ukrainian attacks prompt Russian-held Crimea to halt civilian gasoline sales. Ukraine has intensified its drone attacks on the Russian-controlled territory of Crimea, prompting a fuel shortage on the peninsula. The campaign has prompted officials there to halt gasoline sales to the public and has. Ukraine escalates Crimea attacks, creating a new pressure point for Russia. A line for gas in Simferopol, Crimea. This. Scores of drones target Moscow as Russian strikes on Ukraine kill 6. The prophecy. The map trembles where ships, borders, and commanders meet. The consequence will be seen in the reaction that follows. And 3. The third sign darkens the road between nations. In Alan Greenspan, Kevin Warsh saw a Fed chairman role model. Alan Greenspan at his 1987 confirmation hearing as the nominee for Federal Reserve Chairman. He was known for being hard to pass as a leader of the Central. Alan Greenspan, the legendary former Federal Reserve Chair, dies toast. During his chairmanship, Greenspan was celebrated as possibly the best central banker in history. But later, his reputation was tarnished by the worst financial crisis since the Great. Alan Greenspan, architect of the modern American economy, dies aged 100. The prophecy. The market will whisper before it shouts. Watch oil, debt, shipping, and the sudden fear of scarcity. The sign is not isolated. It is part of the same storm. Sign 42. The fourth sign comes as pressure beneath the surface. About 400,000 UK children supported by baby banks, up 11% on previous year. Exclusive. Charities say they cannot continue to absorb the impact of child poverty without government support. 400,000 children in the UK were supported by baby banks in 2025. An 11% increase from the 25. An 11% increase from the. This matters because money, energy, and trade are the bones beneath daily life. When they shift, millions feel the tremor. The prophecy. I see prices carrying messages before leaders speak them. Beware the quiet shortage and the promise made too late. Sign 5. Destine. The fifth sign flashes at the edge of the map. Supreme Court allows a ruling that ends a tool to protect minority voters in 7 states. The Supreme Court has left in place a ruling that strikes down a key tool for enforcing Voting Rights Act protections for voters with a disability or an inability to read or write in 7. This matters because trust in power is a fragile wall. Once it cracks, every official word carries a second meaning. The prophecy. The center will try to hold, but the edges are already pulling. Watch the crowd, the court, and the cabinet door. Final prophecy. I see 5 signs, but one pattern. War and geopolitics, markets and supply, government and power. The world speaks in echoes. Touches markets, markets touch governments, and governments touch crowds.